Every new year, millions of people are setting goals for themselves, and within a couple of months, most of those goals will be forgotten. That is until the next year rolls around, people realize they didn't meet their goals, and they set the same goals again for the next year. Maybe instead of working out more, you sat around, played Xbox and ate Cheetos all year, or maybe instead of saving more money to invest, you put all your money into crypto and lost it all.
What's
So instead of letting our goals slip through the cracks, let's talk about ways that we can set well-formed goals that we have a better chance of accomplishing, as well as 5 goals for 2020. It can be hard to set goals if you don't have a process or formula in place for creating those goals. When that happens, your goals end up being so broad that you don't know how or where to start, and they end up falling through because you failed to plan properly. I've done this so many times and I still do it, but I try to catch myself as much as possible and reframe my goals so that it's a SMART goal. What's a SMART goal? It's the opposite of a dumb goal. Sorry, I'm still working on my dad jokes. But before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel below. So the first letter is S. S stands for specific. Your goals need to be clear and specific. You should know exactly what you want to accomplish and why you want to accomplish it. If your goal is to work out more, for example, you should know exactly why you're working out more. Maybe it's to get healthier, lose weight, get stronger, whatever it is, know the reason why. The why is what will drive you and motivate you to accomplish your goals. The second letter is M, which stands for measurable. It's important that your goals are measurable so that you can track your progress and stay motivated. When you ask yourself the question, how will I know my goal is accomplished? That's something you should be able to answer. For example, if your goal is to save $500 a month for a total of $6,000 by the end of the year, then every month you can check and make sure you're on track to accomplish that goal. And your goal will be accomplished whenever you have saved that $6,000. This is an easy way to track your progress as you advance throughout the year. The third letter is A, which stands for attainable. Your goal should be something that you can reasonably expect to attain. Now, I'm not saying don't shoot for the stars. I'm just saying you need to manage your own expectations so that you're not always disappointed whenever you don't reach your goals. If your salary is $50,000 a year and you're setting a goal to save $100,000 a year, that's probably not something you can reasonably expect to do. This also doesn't mean that you should be setting easy goals for yourself and never really pushing yourself to become better. Just because you failed at reaching your goal doesn't mean you failed in the effort. If your goal was to save $6,000 in 2020 and you saved $5,500 by the end of the year, you did fail to reach your goal of $6,000, but you still saved $5,500 that you might have otherwise not saved. So just because you failed to reach your goal, don't be discouraged and beat yourself up. Just use that as a learning opportunity to set better goals next time or learn how to push yourself a little further. The fourth letter is R, which stands for relevant. If your goal is not relevant to you, then you're going to end up wondering why you're even doing it in the first place. Your time is a valuable resource, so don't waste it doing things that don't have meaning to you or that you don't care about. The fifth and final letter is T, which stands for time bound. Every goal needs to have a target date or it just won't happen. What will happen is your everyday activities will end up taking priority all the time. They're going to throw your goals to the side and they're never going to get accomplished. So putting a date on your goal will help put a little bit of pressure on yourself and priority on your goal so that you have a better chance of accomplishing what you set out to do. So now that we talked about SMART goals, let's talk about 5 goals for 2020. And I'm going to cover more of the high level goal and leave it up to you to make it into a SMART goal and tailor it more to yourself. Goal number 1 is to invest your first dollar. If you're like I was and you want to get more into investing but you always hesitate, then this is a great goal. In 2019, this is actually one of my major goals. I wanted to get more into investing, but I always hesitated. I would read articles about the next stock market crash just around the corner. I would get scared and I wouldn't invest anything. So in 2019, I funded my Robinhood account with $7,500, and I then used those funds to slowly purchase stocks over the next couple of months. After that, I went ahead and funded my account with another $12,500, bringing my total out of pocket to $20,000, and I used those funds to purchase more stocks. Buying your first stock is super easy with platforms like Robinhood and Webull. I use Robinhood all the time, and sometimes I use Webull as well, but generally I do prefer Robinhood. If you're looking for recommendations, I definitely recommend Robinhood. Their interfaces are super easy to get the hang of, and everything is very beginner friendly. I have links to both Robinhood and Webull in the description below. If you use that link for Robinhood, you will get a free stock just for signing up. If you don't want to use that link, that's perfectly fine. Just go straight to the website at robinhood.com. The only difference is you won't get the free stock. After you sign up, you can easily fund your account with however much money you want to invest with, and then use those funds to purchase stocks. If you don't know what stocks to purchase, I highly recommend that you look into index funds. Index funds are a great way for anyone to get into investing without knowing a ton about the stock market. I'm not a financial advisor by any means, so definitely do your own research, But if you look into index funds, that's definitely somewhere for you to start, and it's a great way for you to easily get into investing. Goal number 2 is to invest more. If you're already contributing to investments and you want to keep contributing more, then this would be a good goal for you. This is one of my major goals for 2020. Like I mentioned, I started investing in 2019 using Robinhood, and in 2020, I want to double my invested amount. So that means in 2019, I invested $20,000, and in 2020, I want to invest another $20,000, bringing my total out of pocket to $40,000. That means that I would need to contribute about $1,700 a month in order to meet my goal of $20,000 by the end of the year. If you would like to do this goal as well, just set an amount that's reasonable for you. It might be $100 a month, it might be $100,000 a month. Whatever it is, just make it something that you can reasonably expect to contribute. Goal number 3 is to spend less and save more. It's always a great idea to spend as little money as possible so you can save more money, invest more, build up your investment portfolio. You spend time earning your money, so why waste it on things that don't matter and effectively waste your time? This is a big goal of mine for 2020 and something that we're always trying to improve on, and to spend less money, to save more money, to start building on our investments, and not waste all that stuff on frivolous things that don't matter to us. Goal number 4 is to pay off a debt. Paying off debt might not give you the best return on investment, but it does give you a guaranteed return on investment, especially if you have any high interest debt. And aside from the financial benefits, paying off debt gives you a liberating feeling knowing that you owe one less person money. I know when I was in university, I graduated with over $40,000 in debt, and most of those loans were fairly high interest rates, ranging from about 4 to 7%, most of them being on the higher end. And I knew whenever I was in university that I wanted to pay those loans off as fast as possible. Within about a year and a half after graduating and working full time, I was able to put enough money towards my loans to pay them off, and I was so happy to be out from under that debt and not have to worry about those loans that I got just for getting an education. So many people carry their loans for a lifetime, and I felt so fortunate to be able to pay mine off in such a short time. It wasn't any magic. I just graduated, got a job, worked, saved my money, spent as little as possible, and paid them off as fast as I could. If you want to make this a goal of yours as well, make sure that you're setting a realistic amount in a realistic time. You're not going to pay off a $200,000 loan with a $50,000 salary in a year, but you might be able to pay off part of the principal of your loan with your $50,000 salary. Maybe instead set a goal to pay off $5,000 or $10,000 of your principal. So if you have a high debt to income ratio, maybe instead of making it a goal to pay off the entire debt, which is unrealistic, then you should make it a goal to pay off part of the principal. It might also help you to set goal number 3 as well, which is to spend less and save more. You can then use that money that you saved to pay towards the principal of your loan, and it will help you to achieve this goal by achieving that goal. The 5th and final goal is to expand your horizons, see the world, and travel somewhere new this year. I know my first 4 goals were all financial, so I thought I'd throw something in different at the end here. Break out of your daily routine, do something different, and go see the world. Traveling gives you amazing new experiences, and these experiences can give you a new perspective on life and let you see that life isn't as small as your daily routine, and those problems that you thought were so big will suddenly seem so small. On top of that, traveling the world, seeing new places, and meeting people from different cultures gives you knowledge that you can't learn from traditional education or just open up a book and read about. Sometimes there just is no substitution for the real thing. These experiences are something that, unlike a new iPad or a new TV or new things, will never break or need to be replaced. My wife and I typically allow about $3,000 to $4,000 a year on travel, and while I am the kind of person that likes to save money and spend as little as possible, as is my wife, this is one of the things that we never regret spending money on. So if this is a goal that sounds good to you, then give yourself a budget this year to go travel and see somewhere new. What that budget is might be different for everyone. It might be $300, it might be $30,000. Whatever it is, take the time, take the money, and go see somewhere new this year. So that's it, guys. These are 5 goals for 2020 that I think are great for anyone looking for ideas, as well as the basis of how you can create a SMART goal. Don't forget specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound, and always keep that in mind when you're making goals. This is actually my first video on YouTube that I'm going to upload, and it's one of my goals for 2020 to upload 1 video a month. I would love to hear what your goals are for 2020, so drop a comment below and let me know what you plan to accomplish this year. And don't forget, if you like this video, smash the like button, subscribe below. Thanks for watching, y'all. Happy New Year, and I'll see you next time.